Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland. With your Sensei Al Bob. I am your Sensei Al Bob, your griot, here to tell you a story. And don't believe a word I say. Well, kids, this may be my last show, at least for a while. I might do one later, which will be earlier for you. And that's about what we're talking about here about time. See, right here now, it's about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, so that makes it about 11:30 your time on a Sunday evening, just before spring. Spring is about to spring, and so I'm gonna just talk about the old crone. I'm not gonna talk about here and now, because the old crone talked about that the here and now is just the tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Why do people feel so anxious? Because they are in the moment not happy. And so they understand that in the tomorrow and the tomorrow and tomorrow, it'll be just like this moment. Unless you can be, no matter what's going on, that almost doesn't matter. I mean, right now, it's like, I've been thrown, it's like, those cartoons where they pull the rug, right? Well, I'm took care of a few things. And so leaving tomorrow, in the next, that's right now 6, so about 12 hours from now, 14 hours from now, I'll be on my way. And it's now dark 30, and, I'm not even packed all the way. I've got I got to jump on it, but I still got more to do. And that is the interesting motif, is it's not making me anxious or upset. And but what the old crone told me, again, she said, the end of times is always here. Right here, right now is the end of times, right? If you're not ready to die right now, you're not ready to live. And if you're not living, you're already dead. That's a quote, right? So, pretty much a good portion of the meat puppets are the living dead. The zombies apocalypse, it's already here with us right now, And the folks who, up in Canada, the truck drivers, they're actually becoming awake, right? Now, it's like when Occupy occurred, I just happened to be in New York City right before Zacardi Park really took off. And a friend of mine, his kid was one of the, and see, the interesting thing about Occupy, there were no organizers. There were a group of people who would get together in Zacardi Park because it's a very nice park, and it's like right across the street from, this side is Merrill Lynch. This is J.P. Morgan. Oh, just over there is the Nazi Bank, the World Trade Center, and the IMF. It's all like within a block and a half of Zacardi Park. And Zacardi Park used to be where Brooks Brothers was, right? And so Brooks, basically, when my roommates from the prep school I went to, of the unbelievably rich people, Eddie Merrill and Ricky Lynch, I went to high school with them. They were in my graduating class. And, my graduating class was 30 people. And 25 of those people were the richest people in the world, and their families had more power than pretty much anybody. And the one person who was, the Rockefellers went there, and the, whatchamacallits, Rothschilds weren't there. They were going to European schools, right? Well, there's the other, that reptile group were going to English, what they called public schools, which, And the seminary that I went to was, tried to model itself on an English public school, that kind of elitistness, right? And so up until then, I, lived with my grandma, from birth till, 6 months till 6.5 years old. Around 6.5, I went back to my reptile family. But my reptile family was no really different than any other nuclear upper middle class American family. Everything was material. You have to realize, good old Mr. Marx and Engels, when they were in London, they didn't write Das Kapital in Russia. They wrote it in London. And the person who paid them to do it was Mr. Rothschild, right? They were the loyal opposition. And communism is a loyal opposition. It is, the Russians and the CCP, the, Chinese Communist Party, they're the loyal opposition, And if you go read Albert Pike, who was before the American Revolution, give or take, or around that time, or a little bit after, he was the Illuminati guy, right? And he was in mystery schools, and there were mystery schools before the Illuminati guys. The Illuminati guys are just the poster kids of the hidden hand, right? And the old crone was part of a mystery crew, And what is a mystery school? But a school that deals with the ancient, the esoteric, the occult, the paranormal. And paranormal is just the science that doesn't go along with the Vatican, right? Vatican owns Newtonian physics, right? Mr. Newton was a loyal opposition to the Catholic Church, and so is Mr. Darwin. Mr. Darwin's like an unbelievable Christian, right? He only published, his little thesis. And that's all it was, a thesis, just an idea. He spent his whole life doing research on it. I mean, he got paid to do it, but he wanted to publish, and and he was on his last legs almost. He died within a year of publishing his thesis, and he just wanted to throw a hand grenade, and to be remembered, right? So they do. Darwin, Newton, they're both remembered, So is Plato, so is Socrates, but somebody like Euclid, right? Now there's a guy he was as much a historian, as much of a philosopher, as much as a adventurer, but he lived in the whole spectrum, because what rules the world isn't algebra or trigonometry, it's geometry, right? And when you get into Euclidean geometry, that's like you getting into quantum physics, right? So all of this stuff was understood, way before now. I mean, we aren't the pinnacle of Homo sapiens sapien, there were, and the real interesting thing, and this is the problem with archaeology and anthropology, is that it's a hoax. All the ologies are a hoax. They, like any good propaganda, a propaganda was invented by our good friend Freud. His nephew Bernays, started the Tavistock Institute, which took the understandings of psychology and turned them into propaganda and advertising. And advertising is, the commercial version of propaganda, mind control, right? And we are totally mind controlled, and that's what the old crow told me. She said, I brought you to this little wrinkle in time where my farm is, right? And it's always here, but only for those who can see it. Those who can't see it, when I saw you, Archie told me to find you in the in your carrel in the secure library in Trinity. And I came to the door and, I dressed as a homeless lady. Now, I'm the queen of that place. I found half the books that are in that reserved library. And, everyone, I am the queen of Trinity. I can do whatever I want. And so Archie, who's my good friend, said, you should check on this kid. You'll find him in the reserved library. He's got his own carol. He's like in the peanut gallery, which is like right up near the librarian's desk. So they keep an eye on you, right? Instead of the carols that are like way back in the stacks, I was like right up there where everyone could see me. So I couldn't bring a bologna sandwich in or a cheeseburger or a girl or, walk out with stuff. So she just came to the door. The librarian, I heard her go, like, oh my God, Leo Cronin's here, right? And I heard that. And I had a whiff of the homeless whiff, and I looked over there, and I'm from New York. I know a lot of homeless people. I lived in abandoned buildings. I a good friend of mine I went to NYU with her and Coca Cristo and Annie Sprinkle and her, and she was the first person. Come on in, buddy.
I'm black.
Well, good. Let's come on in.
I'm really black.
Good. Come on in. Let's see. You're
black this whole time.
Yeah, right. You're an African American who's.
I've been black this whole time.
Yeah, good. That's great.
I have been black.
Oh, that's great. Good.
I'm black.
Okay. So, John, we'll be out of here. And
I'm black.
I'm talking about the old crone.
I am black. I'm sorry.
Okay, John, you're my friend. I never give up on you. So what's ever going under the bridge is going under the bridge. It's okay. You just need to get a good night's sleep, buddy. It's okay. I hold nothing against you. You're my friend. Nothing's going to come in between me and my friendship with you. Even how you act, I understand. I am empathetic. I can relate. I'm, have no misgivings about who and what I am. So whatever you say is okay. It's not okay because it hurts you. The only thing that upsets me really is how everything you say hurts you. You keep saying how terrible you feel. You feel that way because you don't let that love I see in your heart. I see the love in your heart. I know the good person you are. I try my best to in every day and to help, to be there for you.
You are white. You are like a white lion. I am black. I cried.
Well, come on in. Show us your black self.
I cried. I did. And I'm actually black. I'm black.
Well, John, pretty much everyone on this planet is black. There is a small group that is known as the Hidden Hand, and they're reptiles. And they think no matter what your skin is, you are.
I am black.
So what does black mean, John? What does black mean?
Makes me feel good to get to be black and sad because it was sad.
It's okay, buddy. I understand. It's okay.
That's who I is.
I appreciate it.
That's who I am.
But get a good night's sleep, and I'll make breakfast tomorrow morning.
Chains of slavery was 200 years ago.
Yeah.
It ain't no more, so it's not that bad.
Well, we're still slaves, John.
That was terrible because they whipped their backs like they whipped Jesus.
They still do that. People still get whipped. There are all different kinds of ways of getting whipped. It's not just leather on skin. There's emotions. There are words that are whips, There are actions that are whips, You know,
Whose eyes is hurt?
you don't have to like, lynch people to tie them to lynch them. Meaning they can still be alive, but they're still
Trying to lynch
strangled.
me for being black. No, they can't do that.
Oh yes, I can.
They can. Because the real thing that happened to me was I had to suffer like I was a black man and be called the N-word again and again.
John, that is everyone who is crushed by the physical world, by the ego world, by the world
Fat.
of illusion. That's that is the N word right
black.
there. The only true thing,
I ain't
John,
fat.
the
I
only
am not fat.
I didn't, no one says you are, It is the illusion of that that's upsetting. It's the illusion of the true self of you, John, is that loving, caring, sympathetic person. That's who you really are. All the physical stuff is an illusion. You don't have to, torture yourself to an illusion.
Maybe I could dye my skin and really be black.
Well, there was a book called Black Like Me.
I could get a surgery on my nose to make it a little bit wider.
Right.
And I could get some a little bit of injection in my lips, make them a little bit bigger, and make my skin dark.
Yeah, well, you could. You could. There, like I said, there's a guy who did that. And he wrote a book, Black Like Me. He was a white man.
No, he
And-
did not.
Yes, he was. And he took melanin, which made him a black man. They have,
Who did that?
was in the 50s and 60s. There's a book. Go Google it. Black Like Me.
He didn't do that.
Yes, he did. Yes, here. We'll go Google it right here.
Surgery.
Right here. Let's just hold on a second. We'll get Google to tell us.
I try not to be mean about that.
The book, Black Like Me.
I'm nice and black.
See,
And I was literally called the N-word about every day with the little things I do with my hands around the house. The N-word. N-I-G-G-E-R. About every day I heard that. Sometimes many times a day. Like,
but there is no one up here to say that. You've been up here all by yourself, without anyone up here for the last 3 years.
and are on the hill, and are on the hill. Who's that?
They're not in your house. They're the closest person is half a mile away.
I had to hear it every day. He called the N-word, N-I-G-G-E-R.
But the closest person is a half a mile away.
And are on the hill. Every time I open the door,
There are about 20 people on the hill. Doc is about a half a mile above you. Tim is about a mile away. There are people over towards the east that are the closest to you. They're on top of the ridge.
And so you know
That
what
they're
I
off
did?
of Dawnwood.
You know what I did finally? One time it was at the end of the day, I acted out a horror to him.
John,
It was terrible. And
the best thing to do, if anyone annoys you or picks on you, you just ignore them.
I really feel like I had a dead body. I was really attacking and doing a horror to a dummy. And it didn't hurt him, it just hurt a dummy. Like I was a big machine with all these. Oh, no, not on the machines. Told me the N-word one more time.
Uh-huh.
He thought when I felt bad, he associated that yet.
Oh, John, it's all right, buddy. It is. You can do whatever you want to do. You don't. I mean, people, who are African American, who are Chinese, who are Hispanic, who are women, they get harassed all the time And they actually, I mean, they get harassed by people who are, within a foot of them and not half a mile away,
I'm really white, but I did hear outside somebody call me Nigger. They said it like they like.
But the closest person is a half a mile away.
Be called that. I think it was Tom.
But John, no, I don't think so. Tom doesn't even know what planet he's
why
on.
Did I have to hear? Was I racist when I was younger, and somehow God is made me go through feeling like I was being called an Nigger with the little things I was doing with my hands, like anything that I did with my hands. Like,
John, why don't you come in and close the door? You're letting all the cold air in.
I think I'm a kind of clean person, but any of the things I was doing.
Black people,
like if I was wiping my own ass,
but black people,
wrong,
but black people are kind, clean people also. Black people are kind and clean.
I know.
Black people are not. Not dirty. They don't smell different.
I get the thought of it. A thought. I'm not crazy. It was a thought. Just thoughts. We all have thoughts. I'm not crazy.
No, but John,
John,
you can have more positive thoughts. Like I said, with God's unconditional love in your heart, with Jesus Christ's kindness in your mind, you will never have any thoughts like that at all. Let us say the prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, how can you close if you're leaving?
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. All you have to do is be that good person you are. That's all you got to do. If you don't want to hear bad things, be the good person that you are. The kind person, the gentle person, the generous person. I know that's who you are. I've seen it in you. Just have God's unconditional love in your heart and Jesus in your mind. And you'll have a great life.
Are you going to have somewhere to go to sleep?
Well, I'm going to sleep here tonight, and then...
Where are you going to go tomorrow?
I have no idea. I'll figure it out. I'm not worrying about it now. But you're letting the cold air, and I'm getting colder. So
you're going to be able to survive through the rest of the...
It's almost spring, John. It'll be spring before you know it.
And May 20th or May 1st?
No, like in March. It'll be fine. It's already...
March 20th?
No, John, I'm not worrying about it. John, just close the door. I'll see you in the morning.
Will you have enough money if you have to stay?
John, it'll work out. Don't worry about it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I don't want you to die.
Don't worry. I won't. I'll see you tomorrow.
Somewhere if you could stay in a cheap
John, can you just close the door? We can talk about this tomorrow.
Where are you going to stay?
Tonight, right here. Tomorrow, I don't know. John, can I just...
Where are you going to go?
I have no idea.
Well, I don't want you to die in the wilderness.
Well, it's okay. You can let me stay here for a few more days. I would really just like to finish up what I came here to do.
Awful.
John, I'll leave tomorrow morning.
Ever since you woke up, I felt awful.
John, that wasn't me. If you felt awful, it was you, not me. I didn't make you feel.
Why did I feel amazing all morning? Worked out, my body felt healthier than ever, and then when you were awake in the kitchen, I felt really awful.
How many cups of coffee did you have to drink before that?
A bunch, like 10.
Yeah, so that would be a good reason why you felt awful right there.
Then why, before you got here, I could drink a bunch of coffee, and I could fast all day, and I lost 24 pounds. And when you came back, I gained 15 pounds. Why did I gain 15 pounds since you've been here?
Because your metabolism, your body, your whatever.
And you were determined. You said, if you lose weight that fast, you'll gain it right back.
No, I didn't, John. I didn't say that, John. I didn't say that, John. I didn't say that. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive. So let's say that. let's say the
Bitch-ass
Our
person
Father
that
together.
gives a fuck, he's
Come on,
eccentric,
John,
whatever he feels
John,
like.
let's
You
say the Our
parents have so
Father
much
together.
money.
Our Father. Come on,
I
John.
suck 'cause
Our
I don't have
Father.
enough money, I
Our
wanna die.
Father. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those. And he opened the door outside and here, and like it was a nice, comfy 60, and it went to like 30. Okay, John,
I'm sorry.
it's all right.
Money wouldn't solve my problems. You know how much money I need? $1 billion, 100 million, something like that. 100 million, 10 million,
No, you
a few
don't.
million.
All you need is
Get the fuck away from
God's
me.
love.
To suffer again.
Our Father who art in heaven. Come on, let's say it together. Our Father. Come on, John. Our Father who art in heaven. Come on, let's say it together. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. That's all you got to say. You don't need $1 billion. Our Father,
I have a feeling people
our Father who art in
thoughts.
heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. That's
like
all you got to
act
say.
like how to scare Tim, to make him think that because I think I would get a bunch of money.
Our Father who art in heaven,
so
hallowed.
I'm big and powerful when it's not even that much money. And then they just try to ruin the entire thing. Let him stay here, and then I stay forever. Oh, it didn't matter. I don't even know.
John, I left 3 years ago.
Same circles,
John, you had 3 years to do whatever you wanted. You had 3 years. I was gone for 3 years. I came back because you begged me to come back for 3 years. I got 3 years of emails.
I got thoughts to act like I'm like a big conglomerate with so much money, or I'm Hal, or something like. And
Hal, the computer,
to act cool, and I think that's fucking stupid, and I personally wouldn't want to do that. But I got the thought I was supposed to act that way, so then to give people the idea that I was trying to act big and rich for selling the house, so then they try to get me to be a little person scared and worried, and then I stay here and act like it doesn't. I don't even know how much money I have anyway. I'm supposed to do it. These thoughts of like angels or something like thoughts, and I'm supposed to like do what I said or something like that. Of thoughts, because I don't want them to take me away or who knows it.
None of that will happen with God in your heart. God's love.
One of them might be mean or nice.
God's love is not mean. God's love is not mean.
Some don't care.
God's love is unconditional. You know, Jesus is spirit is the thing that animates us all.
I went from feeling really healthy. I had no problems. Was athletic again. Did 62 push-ups on one set. Did 14 or 15 pull-ups that looked awful from a low angle, like I wasn't even doing the full reps. And I felt amazing again, like when I was younger. I felt like really good. And then when you woke up and went in the kitchen, I started feeling bad. And then something attacked my health, and it felt like I was sick, and I felt like I was gonna die, and it felt really bad the entire rest of the day. And you were there the entire time. I felt like this really big thing downstairs, like during
John, all I was doing, John, I was cooking dinner. I made a nice fish dinner for us, you know. That's all I did. You know, John, I left 3 years ago, and you begged me virtually every day. I have 1,000 emails from you. Please come back. I'm sorry. You can stay here for the rest of your life. I need you, want you. I mean,
I did this and shot myself in the head with a bullet going through it, and something like that. Maybe a few times today. Gave up, wanted to die.
You do that often, John. You do that almost every day. Today wasn't any different.
Take medicine. All I have to do is take medicine for whatever it is, so the fucking cops don't take me away and scare me into taking medicine.
John,
and I'm not going to kill myself anyway. I just looked it up for curiosity to see what it was, because I'm not going to have them fucking come here and put me in some place that takes thousands of dollars from me, and I won't, and I refuse to, and I'm not depressed, and no one's going to do that to me.
Okay, I'll see you in the morning.
That's how they keep you.
Get a good night's sleep. Get a good night's sleep, buddy. So I came here the day after New Year's. So that's like 30 days plus 20, so 50, let's just say 50 days, right? I came here. So
Make sure, John, to cut your hair short. Make sure to cut your hair short and get a normal shirt so you look normal, because you had to do all the work that suffering of hard labor, not feeling like they do when they do hard labor. It doesn't matter to them. They didn't have something to finally feel okay. Had to work so unbelievably hard, the filmmaking, and then this feels like I want to die.
John, I spent this whole week.
So I had to do so much work to this.
I
house to
spent
get
this
ready.
whole week
The rest of
clearing
the
your
house.
driveway with a rake, and I did at 15,
But
20
did you know
feet.
that I was supposed to dress nice and do things a particular way,
No,
and that was all that was allowed of me to feel like myself.
no, I don't
inside.
think so. John, you can
Do you
dress.
think this haircut? Do you think I like this, or do you think that I would? Do you think if I was you and I had enough money, I'd get implants, beautiful young hair that look.
Oh, I don't need a
looks
plastic.
real now. Look at Elon Musk's hair.
I don't
You can have
care.
whatever hair you feel like.
I
you
don't
feel
care,
enough money.
John. I don't need to have implants.
I know money doesn't buy love. I know that. So I don't know how I'm going to get love. So I might
You
as well
first
die.
have to love yourself, John. You have to appreciate yourself. So I appreciate who
You
I
don't
am.
love yourself first and then go to others. That's selfish. That's God has you able to stand up for yourself now because your closest loved ones are not there in your life anymore, and it doesn't matter as much.
No,
So
John.
you
Before
have-
you can
you have
love
your own
anyone,
thing.
you have to love yourself.
Why would you love yourself first? Where does it say that in the Bible?
It does.
Does it acknowledge that?
Yes,
Because
it
says-
acknowledges that many
because it
places.
says,
Yes.
do unto others as you would do unto yourself.
That's right. That's right there. So
do unto others as you would do
That's
unto yourself.
right. So that means before you love somebody else, you
Does
got to
that
love
assume that
yourself.
you would be kind to yourself first?
Yeah, that's the only way you
How
can.
does that assume that you would be kind to yourself first?
Oh. John, if you're going to be in
I
here,
don't want-
close
I don't
the
want
door.
some
The
weird-ass
cold air is coming in here and freezing me. If you want to come in, stand. Just close the door. It's
I don't want to be a
freezing.
creepy weirdo who's pretending,
Can you come
It's
in and
not
close the
creepy.
door behind you, John? I mean, if you're going to talk, come in and close the door so I'm not
why is it acting
freezing.
like it's like a dick.
It's not has
What?
nothing to do
In
with
my
sex.
thoughts. Why would I
Those
have
are
to
your
think about
thoughts, John. Your thoughts.
Why do we have to suffer on earth?
John, can you close the door? I'm freezing.
Because of the devil. I know why.
Can
Because
we?
of the devil.
No. We suffer. We
The
make
devil
our own
made us
suffering.
sin.
We make
devil
our.
got
No,
us
no,
to
no.
sin.
The devil
And
doesn't.
it
No,
caused
no.
all the bad
sorry.
feeling, everything. The
You got to go read the Bible again, buddy.
devil-
You know.
the devil caused all of our
No,
suffering, sickness, pain,
No,
bad feeling,
no.
all that is from sin.
But if there's sin, we commit it. The devil doesn't do it. All the devil is
He already
temptation.
got to all humans.
All the devil is temptation.
In the Garden of Eden, it says it's in the Bible. It says what it really is.
It's temptation. John, it's cold. Can you just close the door? Step in, close the door so the warm air can stay in here.
I'm not gonna let some motherfuckers get me to kill myself.
Well, don't do it. No one's going to kill yourself.
I'm not Richard Pryor either. I never sucked a dude's dick. I don't do that stuff
Mm-hmm.
that he does. I don't do drugs. I don't do any of that shit that he got away with doing whatever the fuck he want and being a famous ass person. Besides sucking somebody's dick, that was his parents' fault for having abusive, really awful parents. And he's a different person than me. So what does Richard Pryor have to do with anything? Why did I have to think about that right now?
Because you thought about it.
And because
No one
you know
put that
why?
thought in your mind but you.
Because I said I was depressed on your channel, and there are people who don't give a fuck if I'm dead on there. I know that. I know that because by saying that, I'm
John, can't
depressed
you
and
just
want
close
to
the
die,
door? That would show that you at
They'll
least.
say, yeah,
John, if you
he's
close
gonna
the
kill
door
himself.
behind, come in and close the door. The cold air is hitting me. It's not good for me.
Really?
Yes, really.
You've been looking out for yourself through all that.
Oh God,
Not
John.
telling me that I had to too.
John, I said
That I've
it
been sick all day
500 times. I said, step in and close the door if you want to talk. But no, you had to keep the door open so it'd be freezing in here. It's a little room. It stays warm with the little heater. Doesn't take a lot. But if you keep the door open, it stays freezing. So go on.
Well, I'm not gonna
keep
kill
talking.
myself. You know why? Because I won't do it.
You won't do what?
I won't. I'm gonna feel happy.
Good.
I'm gonna feel good
Good.
or whatever. I'm gonna feel okay.
Good.
It has felt awful. I mean, just the idea of my eyebrows doing this and looking like a minority right then made me feel like shit. Not that I'm against minorities, but I don't want to personally look like I'm an angry person who talks like this and who's not black. Black is good, but like a fucking Iraqi or some shit. Like, what the fuck was that? Thought right there with my eyebrows. Why did I have to think about that?
Why
And
did
why
you?
Has, for
Why
about
did you?
4 or 5 months, I've had to fucking think like I've had these big ass eyebrows. I'm dark. The fuck is that? I had no problems with my appearance that I had to worry about once I was 28 or something. Not when I was younger. That sucked. That sucked every moment of this fucking school. It felt so, not some of it was okay. Some of it was okay. Some of it was okay, but it's hard for me to acknowledge what I had, considering what I really had to go through in this class.
What did you have to go?
They were looking at every inch of my body, how awful I thought it looked. And when I was with my wife, that all went away, and I was confident, and I got to be as one flesh with her and equal to her, and she never worried that much about her appearance, and I helped her feel more beautiful than ever, I think, unless when she was growing up, she didn't really have that many problems, but I wanted her to look really good and not have any worries about her appearance too, and that helped her to believe in me, or she just believed in me to finally not worry about the way I looked, and it was finally okay. And ever since I was, I never had to worry about that again that much, and I was finally okay. Through, all of those schools were different. Those schools were different. That was like God's work I had to do, where I felt like the least of everyone in most of those classes, until I started learning film and some of the things I actually enjoyed personally. It was, the other stuff was hard for me to, art was good. I of course I did art and stuff, and things that I enjoyed were okay. Some of the classes were okay. And then I could understand what the teacher was saying finally, because it was something interesting I enjoyed. And I liked doing the things I enjoyed. But the other stuff, no matter how much I tried to take an interest in, I couldn't understand what they're saying. And I thought they're looking at every detail of my body, however it looked back then.
Why?
And I finally looked okay and felt okay when I was older.
Why?
And I didn't have to worry about any worry about my appearance.
Why?
Because I worked at it.
Why?
Because I worked really hard, and because
Why did you think people were looking at
one
you?
flesh with my wife. Because I
Why?
worked at it harder than other people who just naturally looked like a little blonde kid who had no problems through all of it, who were making fun of other people for any little thing they had wrong with their fucking face, making fun of them the whole time. Like me and my friends did a little bit growing up, but still, I was like, I felt the least of at one time, I felt like I had to leave town. All my friends pretty much were like, yeah, they kept being mean to me. I don't know why they kicked me out of the group. I was a leader of the pack pretty much. I thought I was a little sinful outside of school, not in the classroom, when I thought they were looking at every inch of my body, feeling awful. And then, eventually they all turned on me, the skateboarder friends who were my real friends.
Why?
I don't know. I guess God had a plan for me to go to Los Angeles. And then I felt okay in Los Angeles. It was amazing.
So why didn't you stay there? Why did you stay there?
I moved there, and then it kind of sucked. I was like, I didn't have love. I was alone and just barely had acquaintances for like 2 however long that was. And then I met my wife, and everything was okay. everything was okay with her.
Mm-hmm.
Once I met her there, and everything was okay. Then he put the camera aside, don't even give a shit. I don't even give a shit. I walked in his room, I don't even give a shit. I'm a country time Richard Pryor's white. Am I scary?
No, let's go. Let's go. Let's go outside. Let's go outside.
No.
Let's go outside.
You don't have to use that. You can use it.
Let's go outside. Let's go outside.
I mean, no one's gonna do anything mean to you.
When people are mean to each other, they're being mean to themselves. You know, when people are mean to each other, they're mean to themselves.
People are mean to each other. They're mean to themselves.
You know, you've heard that. You know, when the parent is about to spank the child, the parent says, "This is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you." Right? Well, that's true.
My parents didn't spank me.
Mm. They never threatened.
Well, no.
And my dad my dad got angry all the time. You know.
They spanked you?
No, my father never spanked me, and because I never gave him a reason.
You ever?
No,
Did he yell at you and go, fuck yeah?
no, he yelled at my brothers and sisters because they annoyed him. Me, I was smart enough not to annoy him. You know, my father didn't even notice me, which was how I liked it. You know, I was really only with my parents. Let's see, you know, from age 8 to 14. So that's like, 7 years I was with my family. But
You, what are you doing here? You're too little. Get out there in the cold. Fuck you. You're a little kid. Hey, I'm going to eat this spaghetti now. Yep, he's my son. 8 years old on his own. Hitchhiking out there. He's got to go out there. Okay, here's a couple of dollars. You want $40? Go buy a pizza like me. It'll be like me if you here's $800. $800. I'm big. Here, take it. Fuck you. Here, I'm big. I got $800. Yeah, look at me. 800 million to you and you and you. I'm a big conglomerate. That's what they took. That's what some angel or something said. Just do that in my thoughts. So I had to do that, even though it's fucking stupid. It's not how much money that really is. But I had to act that way. So then they're like, yeah, we're going to make him stay. And then I'm supposed to stay here at this house. And who knows
you can do whatever you want to do, buddy. You can go to California. You can work in the movies. You can do anything you want to do. Just do it. That's it. Just do it. That's all you got to do.
eat some food.
Just do it.
I'm a fat ass. Look like shit. I got the thought, eat food. Don't worry about my body looking bad or any of that stuff at all. I'll probably look like total shit.
You're fine, John.
Eat food.
You're fine. Ugh. The food I made you today was a nice piece of fish, onions, kale, spinach, potatoes, carrots. That's a good meal. It's a healthy meal.
I'm a fat faggot. That's what I'm allowed to say. I'm a fat faggot. I'm not going to say why, but because John Conway died and went to
Conway.
He talked like this.
Who is it?
John Conway. He's my cousin.
Yeah.
He didn't talk like Italian. He was Irish.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little nose. Well, not little, but like, hey, Smiley. He was. No, he wasn't bad. He talked like this.
How old was he?
He got into his 50s and died. He would drink soda. He liked Coke, he drank, ever since the 90s, he would drink so much soda, he'd get a big gulp, and I'd try to get him to drink water instead. And he smoked cigarettes. I think he smoked cigarettes. And he was a little heavier smoker, he drank a lot of soda. And I tried to get him to drink water. He didn't like the taste of it. He didn't like it as much. And I said, there's something you can do. You can get sparkling water. You can add a little bit of flavor to it. You can get a more expensive type of healthy drink. Something that's, something that is special to him, that he enjoys it more than just plain water. Like he could add some cool thing to it, or something that is not soda. And he did start drinking a little more water. I think I helped him drink a little more water, but he died when he was like 58, I think. I think he was 58. And he did a surgery on his leg. This sucked. He did a surgery on his leg. He had to do a surgery, but he died when he was 58, and he had a black girlfriend that he got a settlement. It wasn't that much. It was like $80,000. And then he told my dad, "Fuck you, I'm not working." He said he's not working for him anymore. He went down to North Carolina. He went to, or like Tennessee or something, and he met this black lady. And he had hair on his back, but his face looked really Anglo and young, like 30s. Like he had freckles. He was Irish. But he had hair on his back. I don't know why. But and he talked like this. So, fat faggot. He said he calls somebody a fat faggot. But he wouldn't really say it. He like joke. But you go, "You're a faggot." Or something, but he was like, we thought he was a little slower.
What does that mean?
Like but he was nice, he was kind, and he died. He died last year, I think. And I didn't go to his funeral because I was afraid. I thought my dad, because it was a black church, and I thought my dad, I was like so worried with all of them there. I didn't know what they'd think, because big political stuff with black, but I would have enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed going to a black church personally.
So why didn't you
if
go?
It was California, I would have gone to the black church.
Why didn't you
really
go?
Like to go.
Why didn't you go? You still can go.
I was worried politically, and I thought my dad didn't want me there, or like Teza embraces black too much, and not too much, but like my dad doesn't like. I don't know. My dad's white. He's like really white, and I got worried, and I was thinking about it too much, and I thought they didn't want me to go, and I just didn't go. And that's about the extent of my socialization, how it's been here. I look awful right now. Right now, I look awful. I can see the way that looks. This looks like fat right here. It doesn't look that good. I don't like the way that looks, but that's okay. And so, he died. He was Irish. He had like freckles on his face and like a little kid's nose. He had like a little bit upturned, but not really. But it was like, I'm trying to describe, very good looking nose. He didn't have like, like he still had like a young, good looking person's nose and face. And he was like, he looked like a little kid almost or something, but he was in his 50s. and he died. He had a shaved head. He usually wore a hat. He wore a Redskins hat. He wore a Redskins hat. He had Taza's nose. He had my sister's nose. My sister Taza. They had about the same nose. She had a very good looking nose, still does. Krista has a pretty good looking nose, but a bigger bridge. That was always like, she was like so popular. I don't know what I look like.
Why do you think she was popular?
Well, she thought she had a struggle or something to prove. Like the blonde cheerleaders looked down on her, so she did things her own way and had dark hair. But she was very popular in all the groups at school and stuff, and pretended like she wasn't popular. But she always has gone out there and had a job since she was 16. My older sister, just the way she was. She liked going out there around people, and she still kind of does.
She's a people person.
Yeah, but Taza was an introvert, a real introvert until something changed about her. But she's not mean. She's not mean. She started working a bunch.
What do you think you are?
And she had never done much work her entire life besides God's work. She did a tremendous amount of God's work. Taza, and you know, I don't know what she looks like now, but when she was younger, you know, she has a very good looking nose. I think there's nothing really that wrong with her nose. And but I don't know why she'd worry about not looking like white enough. She could change. She just make her hair blonde and look however she fucking feels. But like, she feels like she used to feel like down about her appearance and stuff. And when she was a teenager, she wore overalls and talked country a little bit. And she likes being like a teenager, but she's depressed too a little bit because she has to work at my parents' kind of like big responsibility stuff, and she has almost no social life. But she here and there, I don't know. Maybe she enjoys it. I hope she'll be okay. She likes feeling like a teenager and young, and she'd like to have a boyfriend. She was so happy in New York when she had a boyfriend. She would wear sunglasses and all black clothes and act cool. And
What was
she
she
got that
doing
from
in
New
New York?
York. She got that from New York.
What did she do in New York?
Took care of my grandmother Noni
Huh.
till she was old. But she felt like she was like my parents. I don't know. She thought she was meek. She was meek. She was very meek. She did God's work. And then something happened and she like didn't get sleep. But she's funny. She does voices like I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like funny voices. She talks like a country person.
Right.
She talks like, "Whoa, that don't do that," and she does like different. She does voices. She talks in funny voices, and she could have been. I don't know. I think she's not supposed to be a comedian, but she liked all that comedian stuff. I don't know what she's gonna do. I think she should find a husband. I hope she finds a husband. Because she's like my dad. My dad wants to keep her because he's like, my Taza.
It's your dad. That's what dads do. They love their children.
He's really close to her. He likes her. And he's really close to my mom. My dad's really close to my mom. They're like very close.
Well, they're married.
And
They're
he
sweeties.
likes Taza a bunch. He's close to Krista, and
He loves you, John.
maybe he cares about me.
He does.
Yeah,
He
cares
loves
about
you.
me, and maybe I don't know, but it got a little funny because he wanted me to like grow up and get to work. Because him and my mom helped me with money until I was like 38 years old, and I kind of worked. I worked relentlessly at movies every chance I got that I wasn't doing God's work. I was, of course, doing God's work.
What's God's work?
Kindness to others, being meek, humble, being kind. Um, um,
How do you do that when you don't see anybody?
well, I used to go out there more. I see you. I'm nice to you, but today it felt awful.
Well, you're not always nice.
What are you putting on your leg?
Arnica,
Oh, arnica.
and this stuff is
Arnica.
DMSO, and this is.
I know what arnica does. It gets rid of like bruising and kind of alleviates stuff. It makes it go into the air or something.
Well, it doesn't go in the air. It just reduces inflammation and increases blood flow and things like that. So my arthritis.
This looks so awful right here. Looks like I'm like fat as shit or something. I look like the rock guy
What
from
rock
the
guy?
Never Ending Story.
What rock guy?
This rock was. Oh, wait. This. What did he say? This These hands. These hands was like he tried to do something with his hands. That's what I feel like right now. My body looks like his. Like, his shoulders. He didn't lift any weights. It's so stupid, the shallow stuff I'm talking about. That's not what you're. It's been fun and funny to joke about it. I mean, it's been like an escape to finally get to talk about stuff like that
Good.
because it sucked upstairs. It sucked. It was like as soon as I started hearing you downstairs, I was really happy. It felt amazing. And then I vacuumed this floor. And I was really loud.
Yeah, around
But
6
the
in the
camera
morning.
didn't pick it up because the camera was on the ground right next to the vacuum cleaner. And I was going, to be louder than the vacuum.
Yeah,
And it didn't pick it up. I thought the camera would pick it up.
and it was about 6 in the morning, and I was asleep.
And then I laughed at it really hard later. I kept laughing, thinking about it. And then the entire rest of the day, like every moment was so awful.
Why?
And it felt like because you were downstairs because you thought caffeine affected me bad, and that's why I felt bad. I thought.
It wasn't because the caffeine affected you bad?
Well, I know when
Virtually every time you drink a great
back
deal
in
of caffeine,
2018,
you come and yell at me.
when I was a jerk,
Right?
and I felt annoyed by you in the house, and then I made you leave, and I was like, yeah, I'm cool, and then I felt like amazing for weeks, and you may have felt awful.
No, I just went on with my life, John.
But
I didn't feel awful at all. I mean, I
I
felt
can't do it
bad
now. I don't want you
because
to
I
die.
know it affects you negatively.
you
I
to
know
die.
that every time you're mean and cruel like that, it hurts you. Me,
But
I
now
just
I feel-
go on and do
I feel
something else.
happy. I feel okay.
You feel okay about me being mean and
I'm a
cruel?
cool jazz person, man. Yo, shit. Somebody's sticking a dildo in my ass. I'm gonna fall down and die. Skeleton. The dust man. That's what I did today. I was like this. A black hand, entire body. Dead. That sucked. Then it made me feel sick. Then I felt sick. It sucked, man. Then I felt like a dead corpse.
Ugh.
My body was a corpse. It was awful. And it did affect my health a little bit. Because when you feel bad enough, long enough, and alone enough, when you don't have a love of getting to hug my wife, and we're equal. I wouldn't want to make her feel bad if I was feeling that bad. I might go through whatever I had to, but I never thought that she would not be there. I never.
So why
thought
is she not there? If you thought that she'd never not be there, why did she leave?
I don't know.
Was it something you did, said, how you treated her?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
Did you ever ask her?
I never tried to hurt her body. I never wanted her body to hurt her. Try to strengthen her body and make her look as beautiful as possible. One time I had to suffer in Orange County while she was putting her makeup on and sat there and suffered. That turned into me one day, years later, with her there and neglecting me so much that at one time I thought I was going to die.
She neglected you?
Or she didn't neglect me. That's the wrong word. That's a word that I just randomly said, but it's not the proper word. She would read almost every message I wrote her every day, 10,000 messages, but she wouldn't respond to as many. She didn't respond to as many. Like, I don't know if I wrote to her today. I probably wrote to her this morning. But so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Maybe go to sleep tonight. Get a good night's
Go to
sleep. Get up in the morning. We'll have breakfast and talk again. Okay?
Do you not like that I would drink caffeine?
John, if you could drink caffeine and not get angry and not scream and not yell and not threaten me and not, constantly go, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. Life sucks, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I wouldn't
It's
mind
felt like
you.
my body's been under attack the entire day.
Who's attacking it?
You or something.
No, not me, John. Come on.
Because you don't
Please.
like caffeine. You want to prove that caffeine.
No, I don't have to prove
You
anything.
told me with your own words,
Yes, what were my own words?
caffeine will be the death of you.
I said that caffeine you were addicted to
You
it.
said caffeine will be the death of you or kill me.
No,
It
I
will
didn't
be
say
the
that.
death
I
of
didn't
me.
see you. See, you never listen.
No, you said that.
No, I didn't.
remember
What
it.
I said was that.
I know you said that. You said that it would
Okay,
kill
whatever
my
you
body.
say, John. What you're right. You're always right, John. You are perfect. You
You said it
are.
would be
You
the
are.
death.
You are the most handsome, most talented, most amazing movie maker,
Look,
A-lister. You are the best,
do
John.
you really think that somebody with a body that looks like this, that people care enough about my videos for my new videos, that everyone knows how often I've been putting videos up? There must be something that I want to happen from that. Do you know how many views that it's getting?
John, but you don't.
It's not getting even 20,000 or 30,000 views a video. I did that in 2020. I really did some pretty good work with the God and Jesus videos and the editing. I edited a bunch and then I'd work out a bunch and play music and some of our videos are pretty good. Some of them are a little random and live, and some are live videos are good. It tells the truth and it's real.
So how come you don't leave your videos up?
I felt like I left all the results up to God, and I felt like
You take them down all the time.
I felt like I wasn't supposed to get as many views. I don't know why. I think I pushed the movies. I don't know, but I know that I'm supposed to. I have a good feeling that I'm supposed to. That's something that I do, and that's supposed to make good money. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it.
John, I put up the YouTubes that I do because the people who watch them get something from it. Not there aren't a zillion people watching. You know, I'm not big on the algorithm, but that's okay. I leave them up there, and people go back and watch them, and appreciate them. And I know this because they email me, and I have conversations, and I see the feedback. You know, but it doesn't matter because it's like a historical reference, and I'm just putting it up for that. Right?
Well, see, I wouldn't want to be thrown out right now because I'm not.
Well,
a
you're throwing
social-
me out right now.
I'm not a
You're throwing me
social-
out right now. You came and demanded me leave in 20
No.
seconds. I said, can't you wait till the morning? And you would, no, get out now, no.
No,
And then, you know, and so I'm
No.
leaving tomorrow morning. You know,
no.
first thing, I'm out of
No.
here.
I
Unless you
kick
say,
out.
and you keep
Nobody
doing
wants to be
this.
homeless.
Last week, you
You're
did the
not-
same thing.
You maybe own a house.
Yeah, I don't own a house. I don't. I have a campsite. I live
You
in the
know what?
woods,
I'll give you $2,000.
right?
Oh no, I might not have 2,000. I'll give you $1,000 to install heat in it.
I
And
have
put
heat.
walls on it a little better and stuff.
I
So
have
you have a
heat.
good place to live.
I have heat. It's just that the walls are about 1 inch thick. You know, it's not a house. You know, it's a man cave. I don't have, you know, the wherewithal to.
Start a fundraiser. Owl Bob to make his house okay. To make
Right.
a house so that to make it his house a real house instead of a shack.
John, the bottom line is,
Does it have a working toilet?
yeah, I have what is known as a woods. I have the toilet that all the other poor people
How
have.
much work and a little bit of money would you need to, you know,
John,
you can
you
build a
don't
house.
understand.
you can build a house out
John,
of,
you don't
put a wood
understand.
burning stove in a house.
John, you
for-
don't understand. I
Well,
live out there very
$2,000 you'd have a
comfortably.
pretty
I
good
live
place.
out there comfortably. I don't need the things that most people need. You know,
Can you put some wood in your car? Hammer.
the
nails,
wood is
a
all the
drill,
woods. I live in the
screws.
woods. There's all the woods. Yeah, John, you're projecting something that I don't need.
You just put a wood burning stove in there. You can put as much
John,
wood as
I
you feel.
have heat. John, please, you don't understand, and you try
It's
to
minimal.
project
It's
a
minimal and
materialistic
poor.
point of view.
It's poor.
That's not where I'm coming
it-
from.
Is it poor?
Well, what's poor? What is poor? I mean, it's heaven to me. You know, I eat out of the woods. I don't have to go to the supermarket. You know, my neighbors, I help my neighbors. They appreciate that. You know, the people in my 3 counties appreciate me. So I'm doing very fine. You know, I don't have to live the life others need to. You know, I'm in balance with nature. That's why I'm alive. You know, I'm in balance with God. God's love is in my heart. That's why nothing. You know, no matter what you say, no matter what mean and cruel thing you say to me, how you scream at me, how you project things on me.
Look at me.
Look, fat as shit, shrugged shoulders, fat tits, and shit like this. Shit, it looks dumb as shit.
That's what it looked like right there. I think that's how it looked.
But
Dumb shit.
that's not you,
Shit
John.
like this.
You're none of those
Fat
things.
tits down here.
That's what you're projecting. If you project that, that's what people will see.
It looks stupid as shit.
But if you
Never
don't,
would I put that in a video when I was younger. I might have looked that way if I saw it. There's no way I'd put it on for the public to see. If there was an angle of my face not looking good or something like that, no one saw it.
oh, John.
I worked hard at
But you walked
the
into this.
actual work
John-
too, the
John.
actual filmmaking too.
Uh,
That was a small part of it. Me looking okay enough, like I was famous. I kept working at that, you know. And then maybe I pushed that too much because I think some people are scared based on some of my past work, which was good. It was good work, but it was like I don't see why they were afraid of my editing. It's editing. It's something you work at to be good. You can be good at it if you work at it.
what do you mean they're
They're
afraid?
like afraid. They like don't know.
What do you mean afraid?
I
Why?
think
Who's
they see
afraid?
my work and they're. I think
Why are they afraid? What's there to be scared of editing?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I yelled in this house before.
A lot, John.
That was the thing that I
You
did.
yell at me
That was
at
a
least
habit.
twice a week.
When you were
You did it this morning. You did it last week twice. You threw me out last week, but then you realize, oh wow, he's doing all this other
That's been
stuff.
a new thing for. I didn't do it. I didn't do it all of 2020.
Because I wasn't here,
At the end of the year, I wanted.
and I
to
wasn't
die.
here for 2021.
wanted
I
to
got
die.
here
Videos- my
2 days
videos were
after
not
New
making
Year's,
enough
and
money.
I've been here since New Year's. 2 days after New Year's.
I made it through. I'd say all of 2020 without one mean outburst.
John, I haven't mean outburst.
But then this year,
So what do you call the?
when those new people moved in, it brought out some kind of anger in me a little bit.
Yeah,
It did, and I went back to
John.
my more simple before I found
John,
God and Jesus. I went
In
back to
2019,
some of those
2020, and
mean outbursts,
2021, you must have sent me 300 really cruel, mean emails
No.
and messages. I got
Oh, I
them.
thought
You want me
I
to
used
read them
do
to
that
you?
when I was younger.
I can
I'd be
read
like,
them to you.
Did you steal my $10? I'd say it to somebody's face. I'd accuse one of my best friends ever. I thought, did you steal my $10? And they said no, and it made me feel awful
Why would you do that?
because I really thought that they stole $10 from me.
And
And
they
one
did.
time, I took one of my best friends, Brian Blunt, was jumping on the trampoline at my parents' house, and I threw a perfect spiral football like an NFL person.
Right?
I really hard at him, and he was jumping to the trampoline. He was jumping to the trampoline up really high. And hit him right in the middle of the back. Shit. And he fell down. I don't know why. I threw
You could have hurt him very badly.
perfect spiral football and it hit him in the back.
It could have hurt him.
I don't know. And here and there I do things and he thought I was mean. I don't know why he thought I was mean.
Well, that's
But
not
he's
the
gonna-
nicest thing to
I
do
think
to
he's on
someone.
his way to heaven. I think he's a really good person, a really good friend. I didn't know. But a friend. And then I think he may be meaner to me back then. Because he looked down on my appearance and stuff a little bit like the rest of them. Or like some of them. But
I saw pictures
It was-
of you, John, at that time. You didn't look. You showed me that
it wasn't
photo
their
of
fault.
you and your buddies together. You didn't look any worse than any of those
I
guys.
had real friends I got along with from high school and all back then. It wasn't, I wasn't some person who didn't have friends. But I thought that I didn't have that many friends in this classroom. It was like, I don't ever want to sit. I think I'd rather not have a driver's license than have to sit in a classroom right now, the way I feel now. But in the future, if it was California, hey, that's awesome. California, there's likely actors there. People
So
who
go to
work
California.
the same thing that I work at.
Go to California. Why don't you go to California? You can go to California.
You can meet a famous person
You can go to California.
to help you, or a
You can go to
producer
California.
Notice your work finally.
Why don't you go to
You're
California?
around. Well,
Why don't you
when
go
I
to
was younger,
California?
I'm 44 years old.
Right.
You think I want to get started on? I don't care. I want my wife and my kids.
So go to Texas.
I like to be retired.
Go to Texas.
I like to be retired or dead. Because how do I go to Texas?
You take an airplane.
How do I?
You're
do
there
that?
in
I've
4
had to go there
hours.
7 times.
Oh,
I've had to go there 7 times. I've had to go there 7 times.
what do you mean you had to go?
Meaning, her parents chose that as their favorite place to live. I did not choose that as my favorite place to live.
Why don't you stay in California? When you were
Because-
married to
it was too expensive, and God wanted me to be here. God had a plan for me in Roanoke that was not getting to start working as a famous person when I was only 27 years old. I was still only 27 years old, and I had a pretty big resume. I did a real feature film with me as a star. I was 27. I did award-winning short films, cool stuff. I had an MFA from one of the best film schools.
So why
27
didn't you
years
stick
old.
with your career choice?
And okay, when Jim Morrison died, I had gone to school out there and did a bunch of movie work. Instead of, I could have lived longer. I moved back to my hometown and got married and had kids because she wanted to get married and have kids.
And that's the reason Danica wanted to have kids.
I think she didn't care about being that.
Okay, I've had it with this. I'll catch you later.
Me, because I talked a bunch of them at me and you wanted to be you.
No, I'm just tired. I'm going to sleep.